Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. And of course, our Torah reading begins with this powerful line that Moses says to the children of Israel, Re'eh anochi noten livnechem hayam bracha uklala. See, I set before you blessings and curses. Let me share with you a story. It's not a Jewish story, actually. It's from the Cherokee tradition, and one you probably have heard before, but it's about a grandfather talking to his grandson. And he says there are two wolves fighting inside every human being. One wolf is angry, jealous, resentful, selfish, greedy, and afraid. The other wolf is compassionate, generous, grateful, humble, joyful, hopeful. The boy thought for a moment and he asked, Grandfather, which wolf wins? And the old man smiled and answered, the one you feed. This week's opening line of our parashah emphasizes to us that we have a choice. We have a choice on how we are going to live our lives. It's not preordained. It's not set in stone. It is our choice. But let me remind you how the verse starts. The word is re'eh, to see. You see, the first step in that choice, in deciding which wolf you're going to feed and of your own soul, is to see, is to open your eyes and to look at the world that is around you. And that's not always easy. Listen, we live in a complex world, and there are times that we say, I just don't want to see. I don't want to be aware of what's going on. It bothers me. Let me shrink into my own cocoon. But Moshe chose that word quite deliberately, telling us that in order to be the kind of people we need to be, we need to open our eyes and to see, for ours is a tradition of moral choices, responding in a way that is bringing out the best of ourselves, the best of humanity, the best of what we possibly can be, because that's the path we are instructed to choose. To choose that path of goodness, to choose that path of compassion, to choose that path of righteousness. As I said, it's not always easy. We live in a world where so many messages come to us. And so many want to color our vision in one way or another. It seems like it would be a simple task to be able to see and make a choice. But when there are so many messages in front of us, and when so many want to bend their messages to promote their way or their opinion, we may forget to see and evaluate of our own. Now, granted, All of us see things in a slightly different way. Even colors that should be simply indisputed may be seen by one person in one particular way and by another person in another particular way. All the more complicated when what we're supposed to see is the world around us and react to the moral difficulties that are presented to us. We may, in fact, see things differently. But what we may not do is to avoid seeing altogether. What we may not do is to bury our heads in the sand and say, I'm not going to make a choice. I'm not going to react to this world that I am living in. For we are told here, you are living with the ability to make a choice. You are living with the ability to have blessings or to have curses. The Haftarah today that we read that came with this Torah portion was selected because it's a part of a series of Haftarot of consolation. Haftarot that have to do with the following up to Tisha B'Av, the sad holiday that we had just a few weeks ago. But the Haftarah, the words of Isaiah, emphasize to us that our choices are going to make a difference. See, Isaiah says in the Haftarah today, he says, why are you yearning for things that don't satisfy? Why is that what you are looking for? Things that don't quench your thirst or hunger. No, instead, Isaiah says, seek that which has real value. Incline your ear. Hearken, and you shall be revived. The Torah portion itself in Re'eh goes on to talk about, after giving that verse about you have choices, goes on to talk at length about feeding the poor and the needy. Goes on to describe a system where debts can be forgiven at the end of every 7th year. And goes on to warn us about withholding from the poor, and specifically instructing us to see, to make that choice, of compassion, of generosity, of goodness. As we approach the holidays that are ahead of us, let us hold precious that ability to make choices, that ability to be able to know that we are free to follow the path that is in front of us. And let our vision be such that we feed that wolf of compassion.